What's going on, family? What's good? What is good? What's good? I want to talk a little bit about the banking system that is collapsing and how you need to do what you need to do is basically start taking some of your money out of these banks ASAP because it's going down. It is going down. Um, Another bank has collapsed. So, take your money out. Start getting more back into using cash because their goal is to eliminate cash and put you on a digital currency, which is terrible because once you get on that digital currency, what they will be able to do is track and trace your every movements, lower the value of your currency. If they want to turn your currency off, they can do that. They will be able to control every aspect of your life. That's the goal of this. So I would take I would take at least half of my money out and put some cash away because hey, it's getting bad, family. It's getting bad, and it's only gonna get worse before it get better. But anyway, I want y'all to peek this video out real quick and let me know what you guys think.
Natalie Morris. So glad to have you here. And on this show, we tend to cover the stories the mainstream largely ignores. Although the story we're going to lead off with today, the mainstream is all over it. But I have a contrarian view on this bank run story and what's happening with America's banks and the US dollar that we're going to get to as our top story. And it's really, really interesting the way that the mainstream media and social media is jumping all over this story. And we're hearing from President Biden on all of this. So we're going to dive into the very latest on the bank run story. Plus, a major diplomatic win in China has weakened the U.S. dollar in the eyes of anyone who is not in the West. We are going to explain to you what they are not telling you about how other countries are perceiving an entire economy based on the U.S. dollar and whether or not that's actually threatening U.S. hegemony along with the bank runs that we've already seen. Those stories play into one another. That's right. And also Tucker Carlson joining us. We had a long-ranging interview. Many of you must have seen some of it anyway, but we're going to show you a very notable portion of this interview tonight on the January 6th footage, the video footage. And what is the federal involvement there? Were the feds involved on that day? Tucker has some theories, and it's not sitting well with some in the left-wing press. We will talk about all of that and more as Redacted starts right now. Let's talk about this bank panic and the destruction of the US dollar. I'm going to say something that probably defies some conventional wisdom right now, and I'm sure that there will be detractors out there, but I don't care, actually, because if I'm right, then a lot of people might actually be able to protect themselves and protect their families. And if I'm wrong, well, guess what? No one gets hurt. In fact, you'll actually be a little bit safer and a little bit of a safer position when it officially happens and they announce this. So we'll get to that in a second. It's a little tease for you. Yesterday, a third U.S. bank failed in the space of a week. So this bank is called Signature Bank, which, by the way, is the same bank that shut down President Trump's bank accounts after January 6th. Isn't that kind of ironic in a way? Anyway, just had to throw that in there. They shut down his bank accounts because he was too risky after January 6th. They didn't like the risk associated with him, Trump, and January 6th, Signature Bank.
So, fam, if they can shut down the president's bank account, you already know they just imagine what they're gonna do to you. These banks they won't have bailouts, they will have bail-ins, which means that they can seize your money. They can take your money and empty your whole savings account. And this is where it's headed. It's headed right in that direction. You may go to try to pull some money out of your account, and the bank may have taken it all. It's crazy.
And now they've collapsed. As David Schaefer says on Twitter, Signature Bank famously closed President Trump's bank accounts to signal its virtue. Go woke, go broke, he says, to signal its virtue. This morning, President Biden came out and gave a rare address to the nation. Of course, he's not taking any questions. He doesn't do that. And he did this ahead of the market open to assuage any kind of fears about a run on the banks. Watch.
Today, thanks to the quick action of my administration over the past few days, Americans can have confidence that the banking system is safe. Your deposits will be there when you need them. Small businesses across the country, the deposit accounts at these banks can breathe easier knowing they'll be able to pay their workers and pay their bills. And their hardworking employees can breathe easier as well.
Like I'm gonna say, family, this is all about tearing down the old system and rebuilding a new system that they want, which is basically control. And that's where this digital currency comes in. It's all about control. Control where they're gonna control where you spend it. Um, More than likely they have it to where you only spend it at these big, huge corporations. Like you try to go to say you want to go to a farmer's market or something like that. They may not allow you to spend the money there. It's just pure evil, man. Pure wickedness.
Last week, when we learned of the problems of the banks and the impact they could have on jobs of small businesses and banking system overall, I instructed my team to act quickly to protect these interests.
Market a beast.
So
man.
last week you knew about this, okay? Just to be clear about that, just to rewind the clock. It's not Friday that you knew about this. You knew about this in the middle of the week. You knew about this earlier than we were told. But last week I told my team. So we know, okay, that's how this is playing out. So the message here, though, is very clear. Don't worry about your money, America, because the Fed will step in and create more liquidity so you can withdraw your money. Watch.
Because of the actions that our regulators have already taken, every American should feel confident that their deposits will be there if and when they need them. Second, the management of these banks will be fired. If the bank is taken over by FDIC, the people running the bank should not work there anymore. Third, investors in the banks will not be protected. They knowingly took a risk, and when the risk didn't pay off, investors lose their money. That's how capitalism works.
This changes everything we know about what...
All right, man. Look. Bottom line is the system has pretty much lost all credibility. There is no credibility. You can't believe a word that Biden says. I mean, who even believes this guy? No credibility. I honestly think they knew that this was gonna happen way before this even got to this point. So they just try to keep the people docile and keep the people dumbed down, so panic won't set in, and people won't all rush to the banks at one time, pull their money out, which will totally collapse the whole banking system. So um, it is what it is, family. If you can, like I said, try to take as much cash out of these banks as possible. Try to get back to using cash, because they don't want you using cash. They want to eradicate cash and get rid of paper currency, and you know um, that's not a good thing. Not a good thing at all. So yeah, it's crazy, family. Um, like I said, things will get a lot worse before it get better. But anyway, Let's jump into this article I found very interesting. The 2023 financial collapse. And it is the collapse is already here. It's been here. It's just that they can't hide it anymore. So they really don't have a choice but to come out and put it out there. But peep this out. We've already hit the iceberg and we are taking on water. There are different flavors of recession. You can get into some pretty dark scenarios pretty quickly. For far too long, now central banks around the world have injected money into the system at an alarming rate. Those actions are starting to bear fruit, and it's not good. Absolutely. What we have already witnessed in 2022 is what could well be just the start of something more prolonged and, dare I say, painful. Look, man, the more you print money, the more you print, the bad things are gonna become. Things will become worse and worse and worse. It drives up the prices. Things become more expensive, hyperinflation, all of that. So, but like I said, these people are they know what they're doing. This is all done. This is all done by design. Got to get rid of the old system so we can rebuild a more anti-human, anti-freedom type thing, financial thing. Man, the rate these people will go to, man, it's just mind-boggling. It's like what we have already witnessed in 2022 is what could well be just the start of something more prolonged and, dare I say, painful. The 2023 financial meltdown. What could cause such a massive shakeup and move markets in such a way? Let's take a quick look and see if any of these indicators are flashing us a warning sign. Excessive debt, which is what this country is in, serious debt. When a country or an individual takes on too much debt, it can become unsustainable and lead to financial collapse. Economic recession. A prolonged economic downturn can lead to a financial collapse as businesses struggle to stay afloat and individuals struggle to pay their debts. And you're seeing that all around, just people just like in just debt everywhere. People just dealing with debt, not able to pay this off, and once they do halfway get to pay that off, they have something else they have to pay, and then it's another debt that they have to pay. Oh man, crazy, crazy times, family. Man, this is why I wish that I missed the 80s and the 70s so much. Economic recession. A prolonged economic downturn can lead to a financial collapse as businesses struggle to stay afloat and individuals struggle to pay their debts. Inflation. When the value of money decreases significantly, it can lead to a financial collapse as people's purchasing power is eroded. Yep, and you definitely can see that now happening. Financial mismanagement, poor decision making by financial institutions, such as risky investments or fraudulent activities, can lead to a financial collapse. Natural disasters. Extreme weather events or other natural disasters can disrupt economic activity and lead to a financial collapse. Political instability. Turmoil in a country's political system can create certainly uncertainty and lead to financial collapse. Well, I think we can safely say that we are and have been experiencing these factors at a work in 2022 right now. Absolutely. I mean, how can you not see it? It's right smack dab in your face. You know what I'm saying? Too big to fail. The bank bail in. Okay, this is what I was talking about, family. How, well, they worded different in this article because I was reading this article. Reading over it a little bit earlier. Reading over it. And they're not going to do a bailout. They're going to do a bail in where they're basically going to just steal money from the people, the working people, people that have direct deposit, they might go to the bank and want to pull some of their money out, and their money might pretty much won't even be there. That's what they're talking about. Basically taking money from you, the working people. How evil could you be to do that? That's pure wickedness right there. Too big to fail, the bank bail in. With a financial collapse, the too big to fail traditional institutions will move in the direction of what's called bank bail in. Some folks may be scratching their heads going, at bank bail in? What's that? We've seen and heard bank bailouts and witnessed that firsthand during the 2008 global financial crisis, where banks were bailed out by the government and taxpayers. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that very well. So what's a bank bail-in, you ask? A bank bail-in is a process in which a troubled financial institution is rescued by having its creditors, depositors, or other um, stakeholders absorb losses rather than having the government provide financial assistance. This can be seen as an alternative to a traditional bank bailout, in which the government provides financial support to a struggling bank in order to prevent it from failing. Bail-ins are intended to address the too big to fail problem, where large interconnected financial institutions are considered so important to the overall financial system that their failure could have serious consequences. By requiring creditors and other stakeholders to bear some of the costs of a bank financial difficulties, the hope is that it will reduce the incentive for banks to engage in risky behavior and make them more resilient to financial shocks. Bail-ins have been used in a number of countries around the world in recent years, including in Cyprus, Italy, and Spain. However, they can be controversial. Yes, right. Taking other people's money. Still, well, I'm just gonna call it what it is. Stealing from people. That's what it is. So so you can save your institution. They can be controversial, and they may result in significant losses for depositors and other stakeholders, and could potentially undermine public confidence in the financial system. Much like in December of 1913, when Congress passed the Federal Reserve Act to alleviate financial crisis. Anyway, family, I'm gonna stop right there. Like I said, we're the banks are collapsing. These people are basically going to rob you for every dime that you have. So I would suggest, as I said earlier, start taking some of your cash out of these banks. Start using cash because they want to put you on a digital currency so they can track and control you. So I'm gonna start right there, family. Peace, one love. Let me know what y'all think down in the comment section.